Mitch McConnell's lone opposition, a deep dive into the implications of his no vote on Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation. Introduction. The political landscape in the United States is often shaped by the interactions and decisions of key figures within the government. One such notable event recently occurred with the confirmation of Tulsi Gabbard, former congresswoman and 2020 presidential candidate for a significant position requiring Senate approval. While the majority of Republican senators rallied behind her nomination, Mitch McConnell's unexpected no vote stood out, prompting discussions about its implications for party dynamics and Gabbard's future role within the political sphere. Overview of the confirmation process. Tulsi Gabbard's nomination marked a pivotal moment, as it not only represented her political comeback but also a test of party loyalty and ideological alignment within the Republican Party. Gabbard, known for her unconventional positions and bipartisan appeal, was viewed favorably by most Republicans who appreciated her military background and experience in Congress. However, McConnell's dissent introduced an element of intrigue, as it suggested possible ideological divisions within the party. Unanimous GOP support versus McConnell's opposition. Most Republican senators expressed strong support for Gabbard, recognizing her qualifications and the potential benefits of her confirmation. This largely unanimous backing can be seen as a strategic move to present a united front and reinforce party strength during a time of increasing political polarization. The Republican Party, traditionally wary of Democratic affiliations, found itself in a position where supporting Gabbard could be seen as a means of enhancing its image and inclusivity. Contrastingly, McConnell's no vote raised eyebrows and prompted speculation regarding his motivations. Analysts suggest that his opposition stemmed from his concerns about Gabbard's past positions and affiliations, particularly her criticisms of U.S. foreign policy and her previous alignment with more progressive Democratic ideals. McConnell's dissent may indicate a lack of confidence in Gabbard's commitment to the Republican agenda, reflecting broader anxieties about the party's identity and future direction. Political calculations and party dynamics. McConnell's vote can be interpreted as a calculated move within the complex dynamics of the GOP. As the Senate Minority Leader, he wields significant influence over party strategy and decisions. His opposition to Gabbard may signal a desire to maintain ideological purity within the party and to prevent any potential shifts in the Republican platform that could arise from her confirmation. This highlights the ongoing struggle within the GOP to balance traditional conservative values with evolving political landscapes and the rise of new voices. Moreover, McConnell's stance could be seen as a protective measure against the potential repercussions of Gabbard's confirmation on the party's image. As Gabbard's political career has been characterized by her willingness to challenge party norms and engage in controversial discussions, McConnell's dissent might reflect a deeper concern about the impact of her presence in a prominent role within the administration. Differences in media interpretations. While various sources agree on the fundamental facts surrounding Gabbard's confirmation process and McConnell's dissent, interpretations of these events differ. Some outlets emphasize the implications for party unity and the potential rifts that could emerge as a result of McConnell's vote. Others focus on Gabbard's ability to navigate complex political waters and her potential to influence the Republican Party's future direction. For instance, while Axios highlighted McConnell's role as a gatekeeper of party ideology, Politico framed the situation within the broader context of Gabbard's bipartisan appeal and the significance of her confirmation in a polarized political environment. AOL provided insights into Gabbard's past statements and how they could influence her role if confirmed, suggesting that her appointment might challenge the GOP's traditional stances. Timeline of events. 1. Nomination announcement. Tulsi Gabbard's nomination was announced, garnering immediate reactions from both political parties. Initial responses indicated a mix of skepticism and support, setting the stage for the unfolding confirmation process. 2. Senate hearings. During the confirmation hearings, Gabbard showcased her bipartisan appeal, addressing various concerns raised by senators and emphasizing her commitment to serving the American public. The hearings highlighted her experience and expertise, further solidifying support from her colleagues. 3. McConnell's vote, in a surprising move. Mitch McConnell publicly declared his opposition to Gabbard's confirmation. This dissent was noted as a significant deviation from the overwhelming Republican support she had received, signaling fractures within the GOP. For confirmation outcome, despite McConnell's no vote, Gabbard successfully cleared the Senate hurdle with significant bipartisan support. Her confirmation underscored her ability to navigate the complexities of contemporary political landscapes and reflected a potential shift in the Republican Party's approach to diverse political identities. Conclusion. Mitch McConnell's lone opposition to Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation encapsulates the intricate dynamics of party politics, the challenges of maintaining unity, and the ongoing evolution of political identities within the Republican framework. Gabbard's successful confirmation not only highlights her individual capabilities but also raises questions about the future direction of the GOP in light of its diverse ideological components. As the party continues to grapple with its identity and the implications of new political voices, the significance of McConnell's dissent will likely resonate within the party for years to come. Mitch McConnell's opposition to Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation stands out significantly in a predominantly supportive Republican climate. This situation reveals several counterintuitive aspects of contemporary American politics. 1. Party unity versus individual ideology. While the Republican Party rallied behind Gabbard, McConnell's dissent suggests that party unity can be superficial. His vote indicates a deeper ideological rift that may not align with the party's public stance. It raises questions about how individual beliefs can clash with collective party actions, challenging the notion that party support always reflects a unified front. 2. Bipartisanship as a double-edged sword. Gabbard's bipartisan appeal may seem beneficial, yet McConnell's opposition highlights a potential fear within the GOP of losing their base to more centrist figures. This tension suggests that bipartisan support can be perceived as a threat to party identity, contradicting the common assumption that bipartisanship is always a positive political strategy. 3. Strategic calculations in dissent. McConnell's no vote, seen as a strategic maneuver, contradicts the idea that dissent is purely ideological. Instead, it hints at a calculated approach to future party dynamics, suggesting that political leaders may prioritize long-term positioning over immediate party cohesion. This perspective flips the narrative around dissent, framing it as a potentially wise political strategy rather than mere opposition. 4. The role of history in current politics. Gabbard's past associations and statements, which many Republicans might view as problematic, may actually play a role in enhancing her appeal within certain segments of the party. McConnell's opposition, therefore, could be interpreted as a defensive stance against a changing political landscape, countering the belief that historical consistency in party lines always prevails. 5. Implications for future Republican identity. Gabbard's confirmation, despite McConnell's opposition, could signify a shift in the Republican Party's identity, suggesting a potential openness to diverse political ideologies. This counterintuitive outcome questions the assumption that Republican leadership is steadfastly conservative, indicating a possible evolution toward a more pluralistic party structure. 6. Perception of political risk. McConnell's dissent demonstrates a complex risk calculation in politics. His vote can be seen as a cautionary measure against embracing candidates whose views may not align with traditional Republican values, countering the expectation that political leaders will readily adopt new voices for the sake of unity. 7. Media interpretations and narrative formation. The differing interpretations of McConnell's vote across various media outlets reflect the malleable nature of political narratives. Some view it as a harbinger of division within the GOP, while others frame it as a protective measure for the party's ideological purity. This variance highlights the role of media in shaping public perception, which often contradicts the straightforward interpretation of political events. In summary, the dynamics surrounding McConnell's opposition to Gabbard's confirmation illuminate the complexities of party politics, showing that dissent can arise from a nuanced interplay of ideology, strategy, and historical context. The situation challenges conventional wisdom regarding party unity, bipartisanship, and the evolution of political identities, suggesting that the future of the Republican Party may be more fluid than previously assumed. Mitch McConnell's lone opposition to Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation amidst a backdrop of unanimous Republican support is notable for several reasons that many might overlook. This dissent does not merely reflect a personal stance but rather opens a window into the evolving dynamics within the GOP, revealing ideological fractures and strategic calculations that could shape the party's future. 1. McConnell's position as a party leader. McConnell's role as the Senate Minority Leader places him at the nexus of GOP strategy and party unity. His decision to vote against Gabbard despite her broad support suggests a calculated move to assert his influence and signal to the party base that certain ideological standards must be upheld. This dissent becomes significant in the context of McConnell's leadership role. It serves as a reminder that not all Republican senators are aligned with the more moderate or populist trends that Gabbard represents, despite her past as a Democratic presidential candidate. 2. Ideological rifts within the GOP. Gabbard's nomination and McConnell's opposition expose underlying ideological tensions within the Republican Party. While many in the GOP see Gabbard's experience and bipartisan appeal as assets, McConnell's no vote hints at deeper concerns about her past statements, particularly regarding foreign policy and social issues. His stance could reflect fears that Gabbard's confirmation might embolden a faction within the party that leans towards more centrist or progressive policies, potentially alienating the party's traditional conservative base. 3. Strategic calculations for future elections. McConnell's decision can also be interpreted as a strategic maneuver in anticipation of future electoral battles. By opposing Gabbard, he may be positioning himself as a defender of traditional Republican values, aiming to galvanize the conservative base ahead of upcoming elections. This is crucial as the GOP navigates a landscape increasingly influenced by populist sentiments and shifting voter demographics. McConnell's dissent could serve as a rallying cry for conservatives who might view Gabbard's past positions as incompatible with the party's core principles. 4. Impact on Gabbard's political trajectory. While Gabbard has positioned herself as a bridge between parties, McConnell's no vote could complicate her ability to operate within a predominantly Republican environment if confirmed. His opposition might signal to other Republicans that alignment with Gabbard could be politically detrimental, potentially stifling her influence and effectiveness in the role she was nominated for. This aspect raises questions about how her confirmation could reshape interactions between parties and influence policy decisions, especially if she is viewed as a divisive figure. 5. Reflection of party unity and division. The near-unanimous support for Gabbard by Republican senators juxtaposed with McConnell's dissent highlights the delicate balance of unity and division within the party. While Gabbard's bipartisan appeal suggests a desire among many Republicans to embrace a broader political spectrum, McConnell's opposition underscores a critical caution against potential ideological dilution. This tension captures the ongoing struggle within the GOP to define its identity in an era marked by diverging viewpoints and the need for collective strategy. 6. Media narratives and public perception. The media coverage of McConnell's vote has largely focused on the implications for party unity and Gabbard's political future. However, the significance of his dissent extends beyond mere headlines. It reflects broader narratives about the GOP's direction. By framing McConnell's opposition as an ideological stand, the media inadvertently highlights the complexities of party politics, where individual votes can carry substantial weight in shaping public perception and the political landscape. 7. Long-term implications for legislative dynamics. McConnell's no vote may have longer-term implications for legislative dynamics within the Senate. His opposition could embolden other Republican senators to voice dissent on future nominations or policies that they perceive as straying from conservative principles. This scenario could lead to increased polarization within the Senate, complicating bipartisan efforts and potentially stalling legislative progress. Conclusion: Mitch McConnell's lone opposition to Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation is significant not just as an isolated incident but as a reflection of the evolving landscape within the GOP. His dissent raises important questions about party unity, ideological divisions, and strategic positioning in an increasingly complex political environment. Understanding the implications of this vote is crucial for grasping the future trajectory of the Republican Party and its interactions with broader political currents. The nuances of this situation underscore the importance of examining individual actions within the larger context of party dynamics and electoral strategies. 1. Unanimous GOP support versus McConnell's opposition. The stark contrast between the overwhelming Republican support for Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation and Mitch McConnell's solitary no vote highlights significant ideological divisions within the GOP. While most Republican senators viewed Gabbard's experience as beneficial, McConnell's dissent suggests he may harbor concerns about her past positions and how they align with the party's current direction. This divergence calls into question the overall cohesion of the party and sheds light on McConnell's role as a gatekeeper of Republican values. 2. Strategic political calculations. McConnell's vote can be interpreted as a strategic maneuver reflecting his long-term vision for the Republican Party. Analysts speculate that his opposition may stem from a desire to maintain a certain ideological purity within the party, especially as Gabbard's political history includes stances that may not resonate with traditional Republican values. This raises broader questions about how party leadership navigates the complexities of individual political identities and the potential for factionalism within the GOP. 3. Implications for party dynamics. Gabbard's confirmation, despite McConnell's opposition, illustrates the challenges facing the Republican Party in maintaining unity amid diverse ideological perspectives. As Gabbard's political trajectory continues to evolve, her role could influence the GOP's image and direction, potentially bridging gaps between traditional conservatives and more moderate or progressive elements. This situation emphasizes the need for the party to reconcile differing views to remain competitive in an increasingly polarized political landscape. 4. Future of the Republican Party. The implications of McConnell's no vote on Gabbard's confirmation extend beyond the immediate context of her appointment. It raises critical questions about the future trajectory of the Republican Party and how it will address internal divisions. Will McConnell's stance reflect a broader resistance to candidates with unconventional backgrounds? Or is it indicative of a struggle to define the party's identity in a changing political environment? Understanding these dynamics will be crucial for analyzing the GOP's strategies moving forward. 1. The confirmation of Sonia Sotomayor. 2009, Sonia Sotomayor was nominated by President Barack Obama to the Supreme Court, and her confirmation process included significant partisan debates. While she received support from many senators, notable opposition emerged from some Republicans who expressed concerns about her judicial philosophy and past rulings. The lone dissenting voice among a sea of supporters, particularly from the GOP, highlighted the divisions within the party regarding issues of race, gender, and the judiciary's role in interpreting laws. The implications of her confirmation extended to discussions about diversity in the judiciary and the shifting landscape of Supreme Court nominations. 2. The confirmation of Merrick Garland. 2016, Merrick Garland's nomination to the Supreme Court by President Obama was met with unprecedented Republican opposition. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, along with other Republican senators, refused to hold hearings for Garland, arguing that the next president should make the appointment. This decision was rooted in the political strategy of maintaining a conservative majority on the court and reflected deep partisan divides. The rejection of Garland's nomination had lasting implications, leading to the appointment of Justice Neil Gorsuch by President Trump and reshaping the ideological balance of the Supreme Court. 3. The confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh. 2018. Brett Kavanaugh's nomination to the Supreme Court was marked by intense scrutiny and controversy, particularly surrounding allegations of sexual misconduct. Despite receiving majority support from Republican senators, the process featured a significant dissent from some members of the Democratic Party and highlighted deep societal divisions regarding issues of gender and power. The lone opposition within a predominantly supportive Republican base underscored concerns about Kavanaugh's judicial temperament and past decisions. The implications of Kavanaugh's confirmation extended beyond the court, influencing public discourse on sexual assault, women's rights, and the integrity of the judicial nomination process. Mitch McConnell's lone opposition to Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation has sparked significant speculation about the future of party dynamics within the GOP and the broader implications for American politics. Here's a predictive outlook based on the current situation. 1. Evolving GOP dynamics. McConnell's dissent signals potential ideological fractures within the Republican Party, as the party grapples with its identity post-Trump. We may see an increasing emphasis on loyalty tests where traditional conservatives could clash with populist factions. This fragmentation might lead to a re-evaluation of the party's platform and strategies, with more intra-party debates emerging over future endorsements and nominations. 2. Impact on Tulsi Gabbard's role. If confirmed, Gabbard's role could serve as a bridge between moderates and more progressive elements within the party. Her unique background and bipartisan appeal may lead to her taking on key initiatives that could reshape the GOP's image. Gabbard's influence might encourage a more inclusive approach to policymaking, potentially attracting disaffected voters from both major parties. However, McConnell's opposition could hinder her effectiveness within a more conservative caucus. 3. Future Senate confirmations. McConnell's no vote might set a precedent for future Senate confirmations, where high-profile nominations could face scrutiny from within their own party. This could result in a more contentious confirmation process where candidates must navigate complex party loyalties and ideological divides. Observing how other Republican senators react to similar nominations will be crucial for understanding the evolving landscape. 4. Public perception and voter behavior. The public's reaction to Gabbard's confirmation will play a pivotal role in shaping future elections. If she can successfully position herself as a moderate voice and garner bipartisan support, it could influence voter sentiment in upcoming elections, especially among independents and moderate Republicans. Conversely, if McConnell's opposition resonates with the GOP base, it might solidify hardline stances and alienate more centrist voters. 5. 2024 presidential race implications. As the 2024 presidential race approaches, Gabbard's confirmation could impact candidate positioning within the party. Should she be perceived as a successful figure in bridging divides, it might embolden more moderate candidates to emerge. Conversely, if McConnell's stance reflects broader GOP sentiments, more extreme candidates may gain traction, pushing the party further to the right. 6. Legislative agenda shifts. With Gabbard's confirmation, the legislative agenda could see shifts based on her unique perspectives and experience. If she advocates for policies that resonate across party lines, such as military reform or diplomatic engagement, it may prompt the GOP to embrace a more nuanced approach to governance. This could lead to a re-evaluation of the party's stance on foreign policy and military interventions, particularly as global dynamics evolve. 7. Long-term party strategy. In the long term, the GOP may need to reassess its strategy to maintain relevance in an increasingly diverse electorate. McConnell's opposition to Gabbard suggests a cautionary approach towards candidates who may not align with traditional party values. However, this could backfire if the party fails to adapt to changing voter demographics and preferences, resulting in potential losses in key electoral battles. 8. Increased polarization. As both parties navigate their internal conflicts, the polarization in American politics may intensify. McConnell's vote could embolden hardliners within the GOP, prompting Democrats to rally around progressive candidates, thereby deepening the ideological divide. This polarization may hinder bipartisan cooperation on critical issues such as healthcare, climate change, and economic reform. Conclusion. In summary, McConnell's opposition to Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation is more than just a solitary vote, it reflects deeper currents within the GOP and American politics. As we look to the future, the implications of this vote will likely resonate through the party's dynamics, voter behavior, and legislative priorities, shaping the political landscape for years to come. The evolving relationship between differing factions within both parties will determine how effectively they can address the pressing challenges facing the nation.